Have you ever faced a door slam shut in your face, only to find out it's the best thing that had happened to you? Yeah? Good. Because today we're diving into one of the most powerful psychological tools you never learned in school, using rejection to your advantage. Inspired by the ancient Stoics but grounded in today's real-world messiness, this is all about how to flip the script when you hear that brutal, soul-stinging word, no. This isn't about toxic positivity. This is about strategy and pain and truth, and how, when used right, rejection can be a stepping stone to power, confidence, and clarity. So let's talk about reverse psychology and 10 practical lessons on how to use rejection in your favor. Lesson 1. Rejection isn't the end, it's information. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." When you get rejected from a job, a date, a pitch, an idea, it stings. But let's stop pretending it's the end of the world. What it really is, feedback. It's a signal. Something didn't land. Something wasn't aligned. Treat every no as raw data. Strip the emotion out for a minute. Ask yourself, why was it a no? Wrong timing, wrong person, wrong method. Learn to mine rejections for insights instead of letting them define your self-worth. Every time you hear no, take a few minutes to write down what happened. Not just what was said, but how you felt, what you assumed, and how you responded. Do this consistently and patterns will emerge. You may start to see that some of your rejections have nothing to do with your skills or character. Often they're about context. Understanding rejection in this way makes it far less threatening. It's no longer a judgment of you, it's just data to refine your strategy. Lesson 2. Control the frame before the world does. Epictetus said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." The world will always have opinions. The trick? Beat them to it. You pitch an idea, they say no. You can either shrink or you can reframe. Great, that tells me this isn't your priority right now. Here's another angle. Reverse psychology is about expectation management. Sometimes leading with vulnerability flips the power dynamic. You probably won't go for this idea, but hear me out. Suddenly people lean in. They want to disagree. Use that. Let them reject what you want them to reject, so you can lead them where you want to go. Framing isn't manipulation, it's storytelling. And if you don't tell your story, someone else will tell it for you. So control the narrative. Even in rejection, decide what the no means. Then own that version. Lesson 3. Make rejection your filter, not your foe. When someone says no, it hurts because we see it as personal. But what if it's just a filter? You want someone who wants you. If they say no, they just filtered themselves out. Good. Now you don't waste time. Apply that to clients, jobs, opportunities. A fast no is better than a drawn-out maybe. Instead of fearing rejection, encourage it. Get to it faster. Know what's not a fit. That's how you build momentum. Make it part of your criteria. If I get a fast rejection, it means I asked clearly. You don't want half-hearted yeses, you want alignment. A strong no is a compass, not a curse. Lesson 4. The power of pre-rejection. Here's a sneaky trick. Reject yourself first, not in the self-hating way, in the preemptive way. Before you pitch something, say to yourself, they might say no, and that's okay, because this isn't about getting yeses, this is about growth. That mindset makes you bulletproof. It turns every pitch, every ask into practice. You stop gripping so tightly to outcomes. Reverse psychology here is internal. You strip the fear out by pre-processing the worst-case scenario. Also, when you prepare for rejection, you begin to detach from it. Detachment creates calm, and calm makes you far more effective in any situation where you're asking for something. Lesson 5. Rejection builds identity. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Everyone wants to be understood, accepted, praised. But people who build things, businesses, art, movements, get rejected a lot. It's part of the gig. You know who you are not by what people say yes to, but by what they reject you for. Rejection sharpens your identity. It makes you ask, am I willing to stick with this, even when it's not getting applause? If yes, then that's not just ambition, that's purpose. Each time you hear a no and continue anyway, you're telling yourself something. You're proving that your mission isn't based on popularity. It's deeper than that. Rejection becomes a confirmation that you're walking your own path. Lesson 6. Flip the scarcity script. Rejection often triggers scarcity thinking. That was my one shot. No one else will want this. Stop. Reverse psychology says, when you act like you have options, people are more likely to want what you have. Think about the last time someone chased you down after you stopped trying so hard. Humans want what they can't easily have. So if you get rejected, pull back, detach. Show you're not desperate. You don't need everyone to say yes. You need the right ones. And if you really want to win this game, start behaving like the chooser, not the applicant. When you start vetting your opportunities with confidence, rejection becomes a neutral signal. Sometimes it's even a relief. Lesson 7. Train for number. Professional salespeople do something smart. They train for no. They make rejection a daily part of the process, so they're desensitized. What if you set a goal of getting rejected 10 times this month? Not as punishment, but as a challenge. Each no means you're trying, you're pushing, you're out of the comfort zone. Stoics practiced this with negative visualization, imagining worst-case scenarios so they wouldn't be ruled by fear. You can do the same with rejection. It becomes your training ground. Keep score, track progress, build resilience like it's a skill, because it is. The more rejection you can face and bounce back from, the more unstoppable you become. Lesson 8. Use rejection as redirection. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Every rejection is a door, closed, yes, but also a sign. You didn't get that job. Maybe you're not meant to work for others. Your product didn't sell. Maybe you're targeting the wrong market. Instead of fighting reality, work with it. Let rejection redirect you. Don't try to force a fit. Use the feedback to course correct. Every no is a compass, quietly telling you to shift direction. It might not feel like guidance in the moment, but with time and clarity, it almost always is. Lesson 9. Turn no into a follow-up machine. Most people stop at the first rejection. That's why most people never get traction. You got a no? Cool. Follow up in 2 weeks. Offer something else. Share value. Stay in the loop. Some no's are just not yet. Persistence, when respectful, is rare, and it stands out. Here's a pro move. Send a thank you note after being rejected. It disarms, it shows class, and it leaves the door open. Follow-up isn't desperation, it's professionalism. Build systems for staying in touch with people who said no. Your consistency might convert them in the long run. Lesson 10. Let rejection fuel your fire. You will be rejected. People will say no, and that is your fuel. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Rejection reveals who has the grit to keep showing up. Let the NOs shape your story, not silence it. The very people who said no today might regret it tomorrow. But that only happens if you keep going. Use every no to sharpen your message, refine your offer, and thicken your skin. Let it remind you that this is part of the path, not a detour. Let's go further. For each of these principles, you can turn them into daily practice. Data from NOS. Start a rejection log. Track who said no, why, and what you learned. Control the frame. Practice your reframes out loud. Write down 3 ways to respond to a no without shrinking. Filtering mindset. Create your own ideal fit criteria. Use NOS to spot mismatches early. Pre-rejection. Visualize the rejection. Let yourself feel the sting in your mind's eye. Then move on. Identity building. Ask yourself, would I keep doing this even if no one clapped? Abundance posture. Write down 5 other paths for every door that shuts. Rejection goals. Make it fun. 10 rejections a month. Prize yourself for reaching it. Redirection cues. Ask after a rejection, what new door might be opening here? Follow-up system. Create templates. Schedule reminders. Make NOS the start, not the end. Fuel and fire. Create a rejection playlist, something that hypes you up when the world says no. These aren't just ideas, they're moves. You don't need to master them all today. Pick 2, work them for a week, then rotate. This is how you build rejection resilience. This is how you become rejection-proof. Let them say no. You keep saying yes to yourself. Staying stoic in a world that fears rejection. The Stoics weren't afraid to be unpopular. They weren't obsessed with praise. They focused on what they could control. That's your edge. You can't control whether someone says yes or no, but you can control how you prepare, how you respond, how you grow. Make rejection your ritual, your signal to pivot, your license to keep going, because the people who win aren't the ones who avoid rejection. They're the ones who keep showing up in spite of it. Now go get some NOs, and let those NOs make you unshakable. If you found value in this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more Stoic insights. It's absolutely free. Till next time, stay stoic.